God expresses His unconditional love through other people. Sometimes by what we need to hear rather than what we want to hear. And sometimes by His action shown to others rather than through our own. And here's an example of what I mean by that. 22 years ago, Carrie and I, now we've been married 25, together 26, but 22 years ago, not a happy time in the Major family. Okay? So much so that I lived in Kansas City, and she lived here, and I was more interested in the world than I was interested in my own family. Okay? This went on 9 months. Yeah. Separated in March. Christmas came, and I've told the story before, so I hope I don't bore you with it, but there's some relevance to it. Went back in December, one last holiday, one last hoorah before we're done. Course of events, I couldn't leave. I got ready to walk out the door to go back to my life, which I thought that I wanted, and I couldn't walk out the door. And I knelt in sorrow and tears at her feet in the bathroom and wept for 3 solid hours. And God began to do a work in me at that point because He broke me. At that point, broken. Now, as I looked at it, I thought, now, wives, think about it. Okay, let's get personal with it, and I want you to identify yourselves with Carrie right now. Your husband leaves you and your kids, doesn't pay you any child support, doesn't care what you're doing, doesn't care what the kids are doing, shows back up to say goodbye, and you love him like Jesus would. Any takers on that one?
I did the same thing.
You did the same thing? Because as I look back on it, especially this week as I'm studying and preparing for this, it wasn't Carrie's love that I was seeing, it was His through her. My life got wrecked from that moment forward. It changed. It absolutely changed. I started hearing from God in a way that I never thought I could from that point, because finally He had my attention. And I thought, if I could have that one person that loves me through my crap, and that's what He looks like, then I'm in. And it was never, ever. Now, keep in mind, that was 22 years ago. So, it takes me a while. That's what Paul is saying to the people of Philippi. That's what he's saying to them. I want you to love them with no conditions. Because once we, as a body of believers, as Christians, as followers and disciples of Jesus Christ, once we allow ourselves to see God's love for what it truly is instead of what we make it to be, then we start to get it. Then you start to see God's Word in a different light. Then you stop formatting verses to fit your situation and you let Him speak. And then you begin to experience His Word. It's not just pages, it's not just words on a page. All of a sudden you begin to experience His Word. And it transforms you in the way that you act and you speak and you think. Some people, like maybe Steve and Christy's family that are in Iowa City, may look at that situation and go, it's impossible, they're desperate, there's no hope. And when we tap into that dudame of here, then we see God at work. We say, okay, dark situation, but what's He going to do to show up and show off? That's what we see. And that's what He's telling His people to do.